Man, they're such jerks for calling out a guy who tries to buy children in the underground black market's child trade. What the? These guys are such jerks. Have you guys heard of this? Wait, has anybody heard of this yet? The TPDF USA drama that's been going on? Because this dropped yesterday, and it's crazy. It certainly is remarkable. No, I wasn't, but I'm not shocked. Nope. Okay, this is gonna be interesting. Listen. As long as I've had this channel, I've kind of talked about some of TPUSA's connections. I think a lot of them are quite strange, peculiar, odd, and weird. But I have to tell you that this connection that we're going to be talking about right now is probably one of the strangest, most concerning, and the weirdest. Now, TPUSA has had a lot of issues with literal neo-Nazis, far-right people, groipas, lots of type of really bad characters a part of TPUSA. They lost their Gab communicator because he was actually a Nick Fuentes fan, and he said that TPUSA was overrun by homosexuals and Jews, and so that's why he revolted against Charlie Kirk. And the last post on TPUSA's Gab was basically him saying that TPUSA is cringe and controlled opposition by the Democratic Party to push transgenderism, homosexuality, and Jewish propaganda to the masses to dilute the white race. And so he said to follow somebody else that he liked, another Nazi that he liked, and then he dipped, as well as the other literal Nazis that were part of TPUSA's ground forces, and the guy who dressed, and the fact that like both Charlie and another guy that he knew both dressed up as babies to protest other people not wanting to be around them, honestly. So they decided to literally poo-poo, make big boom boom in their diaper to prove how cool they were to actually hang around and how correct they were, if you remember correctly. The crinklers. Yeah, it's when they went full crinkler. It's when they were on their crinkler arc. Yeah. They boom boom in their diaper crinkler arc, walking around campus. Shit smeared against their own ass. Very sad, I must say. Very sad indeed. Very, very sad stuff indeed. And it was so bad that they were told to call it off because it was so embarrassing. Wait, can I find it? Where are these pictures? Yeah, here we go. Classic. Classic. Yeah, you'll really own the libs this time. You'll really get them. Yeah, those libs, owned. They are so owned. The craziest thing about this ownage is that they'll never actually be more owned than they were right now. But it seems like that TPUSA has had a little change of heart. They've moved from endorsing babies to people who love babies. People who love babies, it seems a little too much. Because yesterday, as of this recording, the Rolling Stone published an article with a title that truly caught my eye. And that was this. Charlie Kirk, TPUSA teamed up with a registered sex offender. As they are known to do. As the anti-PDF, children indoctrination, child abuse guys are known to do a little bit every now and again. They're well known to be palling around with many registered sex offender. The craziest thing about these people is that they're always on offense, you know what I mean? They're always teaming around with sex offenders, but they're never teaming around with sex defenders. Like, you ever think about that? They're always on offense. It's quite curious. They're always on the attack. They have not been able to get the ball. I'm shocked. Who could have seen this coming? Everyone, and you too. So it's wild how that works. Like, curious, is it not? Curious, is it not? The CEO of TPUSA, Charlie Kirk, is cheerleading the far-right boycott of Target over the retailer's Pride collection. That's another thing that's going on right now. TPUSA is actually spearheading the cancellation of Target because Target decided that they wanted to not be homophobic and not be transphobic. So they decided that they weren't going to say for Pride that they wanted to hang all trans people. And so because of that, Charlie Kirk and team decided that they're going to be trying to bankrupt Target for such an offense to their ideals, as you can see here.
Something really exciting happening with Target, everybody. So Target has a target on their back. Target is freaking
Nice
out.
one.
Target is holding emergency meetings. They're worried that they're losing their customer base. Everybody, keep the pressure on. We need to go after Target in a very serious way. It is time for decent, ordinary Americans who do not believe in radical ideas in either direction to just say, I will not allow my kids to be corrupted by this trans agenda. And it looks, Target is, it looks like they're caving. They say they're putting the clothes in the back. I want Target to go bankrupt. I want them to close. I want Chapter 11. Okay, somebody else can buy them up.
Yeah. So this is their main goal. Because they think that trans people are sick and disgusting freaks that must be done away with, eradicated from society. Period. They want to destroy any their goal is to destroy any business that that says that they don't want to hang all minorities except for the beautiful straight white Christian man. That's it. Curious, is it not? Just normal stuff from your average Republican. Normal stuff indeed. Let's keep reading on to see what after such a strong pro-family anti-child corruption stance is. Let's see what his business dealings are like in his business. All right. Yet delivering these fevered messages about morality and child welfare, Kirk had an odd benefactor, a man whose criminal history opens the TPUSA for charges of hypocrisy. Rolling Stone has learned that one of TPUSA's summit corporate sponsors is a Christian fashion company led by a registered sex offender, Sean Bergstand, who served time in federal prison for attempted coercion and enticement after trying to persuade a minor female to engage in sexual activity with him. Quite the record, I must say. Really, this is the same record that what's his name, EDP 445 would have. This is the same record. That's crazy. That is remarkable, I must tell you. Strange, it's strange, isn't it? Yeah, you didn't listen. She was so fertile at 15. Listen. He listens to Matt Walsh. He thinks he thinks you're a full-grown adult woman at 15, who's it's a perfect time to start pumping out babies. So he was just helping her out, you know. Come on. What is this woke ideology? It's so woke these days. In a statement to the Rolling Stone, TPUSA Andrew Colvet said that TPUSA Faith was not aware of the incident, but emphasized that it was an exhibit sponsor. Bergstrand was not a speaker, organizer, or professing doctrine from the stage. Yeah, but they only team up with people who they think they have a similar ideology with. So I just think it's curious. One of the core tenets of Christian faith is forgiveness rooted in repentance. After discussing the issue with him, we believe it was crucial to bringing him to faith. Colvet added, he doesn't hide from what happened. He instead posts his testimony online on his company website. TPUSA Faith will not toss around repentant decent person toss away a repentant decent person because of a mistake that happened over a decade before, or because a left-wing outlet wants to write a hit piece on the amazing work that our team is doing, he said. And then he quoted a Bible verse, his favorite Bible verse, somewhat, 3:13, which says, forgiveness as the Lord forgave you. Today's conservative movement is nothing animates activists like a supposed liberal indoctrination of children. The religious right in particular espouses unhinged rhetoric about how the youth are being groomed into trans and LGBTQ ideology by Luciferian leftists. Now, this is unironically what they genuinely believe. This is what they genuinely believe. But hey, listen, they said that they forgive this guy. So let's take a look at his record to see how forgivable he actually is. This guy is not like somebody who's like incredibly hidden. They said they've completely forgiven him. We could just take a look at him. So he's from South Dakota. I'm not going to scroll down because his address is there. And this is all completely public information, just so you know. He's on the North Dakota, as you can see, we're on the North Dakota Sex Offender Registry. of the Attorney General's Office of North Dakota. So this is all public information about his this is all public information about who he is and what he's done and everything, right? As you can see, this is Bergstrand Sean, born in 1978. He's male, white, 6'2", 235, blue eyes, brown hair, skin color medium. Registration expiration is in 2030, a little under 10 years from now. Where he has a low risk factor. Oh, that's good for him. That's good for him. And he is registered at the moment. We can look even further, honestly. We can look even further, honestly, into this article that was published in North Dakota, in the city that he was from, when he was arrested. Let's take a look at what he did, or at least what they knew back then. A Bismarck man has been charged with attempted human trafficking. Sean Bergstrand, 34, was charged with a Class A felony on Friday. The South Central District Judge Bruce Haskell set bond for $25,000. A complaint in the case accuses Bergstrand of attempting. A complainant. I can't speak apparently. A complaint in the case accuses Bergstrand of attempting to obtain another person for sex, knowing that the person would be subject to human trafficking and that the person was less than 18 years of age. Little information has been released on the Bergstrand's case, nor in several similar cases filed recently. Officers are still investigating the case and pursuing other cases of similar nature. Sensitive information in the case was sealed by the court on Friday on the request of the prosecutors. Wild stuff. Sergeant Mark Bruchnia said a police report said Bergstrand initiated email correspondence with a woman believed to be sex trafficking her minor daughters for money. Bergstrand allegedly made arrangements to pay for a sexual encounter with an underage girl through email and text message correspondence. He's forgiven. He is forgiven. He is already forgiven. Listen, if you're wondering if he's forgiven for trying to buy children for sex on the human trafficking black market sex trade, then yeah, he is forgiven. Don't be mad at him. He is forgiven. That's why he can. That's why him and his people can be around our. Listen, okay. Let me tell you. Don't bring your children to any TPUSA event. I already think that you shouldn't. You and your children shouldn't go originally, but now there's a double, triple, quadruple reason not to take them there. What the heck? Let me tell you. All right. I've heard a lot of things about like drag shows, but I have not heard about a drag show being hosted and sponsored by a convicted pedophile group. A convicted human trafficking pedophile group. Yeah, I haven't heard that. Maybe I skipped maybe I skipped some, maybe I didn't see some, possibly. But this is one of the it's just curious, I think. Curious. He is forgiven. He is forgiven. Oh my goodness. Well, so that's what he did. Now reading on a little bit. Riding the wave of populist anger, Kirk and TPUSA have made a hard pivot to the organization's stated aim of preaching free market economics to students and embracing the cause of Christian nationalism and marshaling church leaders to the forefront of GOP politics. Yeah, that is completely changed. He's not really doing any of this right now. He's just like attacking a minority group because it's easy. It's easy good boy points. It's easy money. It is literally money. He was convicted in 2014 for attempted coercion and enticement. The details of the criminal complaint have been sealed, but what we know is that he was trying to buy human trafficked children to rape, which is, it's definitely a thing that you could do. I don't think that you should do it, but he definitely tried. Yep, he definitely tried. He did knowingly attempt to persuade, entice, induce, or coerce a minor female into having sex with him. He did not respond to requests to comment for this article, but his address on the North Dakota Sex Offender Registry matches the registration address of Bergstrand and Right Side Up, in a corporate registry maintained by the North Dakota Secretary of State's office. So basically what this means is that his house that is on the sex offender registry is also the same address he uses for his business. So if you looked up his address, which is very public knowledge since he's on the sex offender registry, you could very easily know that this guy is PDF peddling, or at least was. So yes, he uses his home address as his business address, and it's the same address that's on the sex offender registry of North Dakota. The address I'm not going to be showing you on stream, but if you just click any of these these links, you'll be able to find it. It's not very hard. His address is public knowledge, and it's his business address, which is also once again public knowledge, right? Which is so yeah. If you just typed in the address, one of the first things will come up will be the North Dakota Secretary of State sex offender registry, which is something wild. I must tell you, that is something else. In his promotional material, despite facing a maximum of 20 years in jail, Bergstrom received a sweetheart. He accepted a sweetheart deal from the prosecutors where he would take a plea deal, get convicted, only get 1 year in jail for, mind you, trying to buy a child to rape. He would get 1 year in jail and serve 5 years of supervised release, which he is not on. He is not on either at the moment. He was discharged from supervision more than a year early in 2018. Wow. He got off for trying to buy to rape a child early. He got off early. Only spent 1 year in jail and got off early on the supervised discharge. Wow, how nice. Good for him. Wow, look at him. Look at him go. He's so forgiven. He's so forgiven. In promotional videos on right side, Bergstrom speaks obliquely of his life struggles. At one time in my life, I lost absolutely, completely everything. I wonder how those children feel. But he touts the appeal of his companies, saying that God gives you second chances, third chances, sometimes even fourth chances. and you gotta, it's up to you to decide how you do what you do with them. Yep. Listen, listen. There was a time in my life where I lost everything. Sometimes you get, second chances, third chances, fourth chances, fifth chances, maybe even 6 or 7, 10 chances even. Listen, personally, I think I'm up to my 31st, somewhere around there. I lost count. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord Jesus. That is crazy to me. That is remarkable to me. Now, if you think that Charlie doesn't know anything about this, you are wrong. Okay? You are wrong. Because he decided that he was going to, because Charlie believes in capitalism, and this guy also believes in capitalism, and he thinks that he can make himself right with trying to buy children to rape with Jesus by making money in capitalism. And that is what's going to save his soul from the deepest pits of hell, is making a lot of money with his business in capitalism. And that's what'll really do it. I'm all for second chances and paying your debt to society, even perhaps creating a brand based on how you overcame your struggles. But turning points and Charlie Kirk highlight this particular person whose crime involved a child attempted sexual acts, while decrying groomers and sending mobs to stores who sell products they don't like. This is beyond hypocritical. Now, like I said, if you think Charlie hasn't seen this, you gotta be wrong. You are wrong. Okay? Because he does know. He knows a lot. And he even made a tweet about it. Quote tweeting this article from the Rolling Stone with, "What a joke." Let me remind you of what he was charged with. It was attempting to obtain another person knowingly who was being subjected to human sex trafficking to rape them when he knew that they were under 18. Anyways, he believes this is a AI. Can you tell me what he thinks that this is? He thinks it's a
joke.
Wow, that's crazy. Let's set the record straight. First, I've never even met this guy before. He was one of my exhibitors at an event. He's not a corporate sponsor, he is, but rather a small business trying to market his company. I'm told from the team that coordinated the exhibitors. Sorry, I can't speak. From the team that coordinated the exhibitors, that he's a really nice guy who did something wrong over a decade ago. Unlike Target, he repented and his experience led him to faith. Good for him. That's the gospel. Lastly, he doesn't hide what he did. He tells his story on his own website, and he jerks. And the jerks at Rolling Stone took that public testimony and called it exclusive just to unfairly smear him and play gotcha with my TPUSA faith. Rolling Stone should be ashamed. Trash outlet that published trash hit pieces on good God-fearing Americans. Man, they're such jerks for calling out a guy who tries to buy children in the underground black market's child sex trade. What the hell? These guys are such jerks. What the heck? What in the world? How could this happen? How could this possibly happen? Yeah, he's such a jerk. Unlike this guy who's a good upstate. Listen, Charlie has like a wife. I think he's going to be having kids soon. Listen, if he's such a reformed, upstanding, God-fearing man, go on, Charlie. Have this guy take care of your kids for a little. Let have your kids go to his daycare. Have him take care of them for like a weekend. Maybe a couple weekends. Just drop him off there. What possibly could happen? What could go wrong? He's such a nice guy. Go ahead. Have your kids be taking care of him. You're a busy guy. You can't be there all the time. I imagine you can't be at home all the time. I imagine you need some babysitters. He seemed like a great babysitter. He's reformed. He's doing better now, right? Right? He's not a jerk. He knows what's going on, and he's not gonna do any no good badness. He's completely reformed. He's a good God-fearing man, right? He wouldn't do anything bad. Let him take care of your kids. Let them all take care of your kids. Go ahead, buddy. I bet it'd be sick. I bet. This is what's going on, okay? They don't care about children. They don't care about family. They don't care about bad things happening to children. If they cared about bad things happening to children, then they would be on board with 99% of what the progressives and the left are pushing for what they want for children in this country, okay? But they don't. The reason is because they don't care. They never have cared. Children are nothing but tools and property to them. That's why they love advocating for children, because children, it's really hard for them to talk, right? And so if they can talk for them and put words in their mouth for them, then it becomes the world's greatest political tool, because they can say whatever and whatever they want, and the children will never disagree with them just outright as long as they're young enough, because they have no capacity to do it. They don't inquire with them. They choose what's going to be right for them without thinking about science or reality, the part of it. The only thing that comes into contact with how they would like to move into the world is simply what they think would be politically efficacious for them in that moment. And if it's not, and if it doesn't suit that end, then who fucking cares? Who cares? That's who and what they are, and they're not going to change. I trust this man. Yeah, you trust this man? Yeah, go ahead, Charlie. You trust that man with your kids? Go ahead. Go ahead. Give it a try. Give it a try. I bet it will work out great. That's why they're not caring about things that actually affect children negatively, and that's why they're not engaging in real good faith in any of these situations that actually do affect children, like issues on being trans and gender along these lines. They don't want to argue seriously because they're not serious actors. They don't care. They'll never care, because caring about children is not politically efficacious to them. It's not. Never has and never will be, because science does not conform to their political ideology. That's why they think that reality has a left-wing bias. And the saddest thing about it is that they're right. It does. That's why all these conservatives are only like a couple questions away from having their entire ideology blown apart. Because, they don't engage in reality. They don't engage in serious thought when it comes to these political issues, because they can't. And that's where they're going to keep harping on normal trans people doing nothing but taking care of their family and trying to live a good life, because doing that is a hell of a lot more easy than trying to fix things like child poverty, child homelessness, child sexual assault. You know, it seems like they're sponsoring people who are contributing to that shit. That's a lot harder of a thing to fix and run on actually making better. But eradicating a minority, this country's kind of been built on. That's easy. There's a blueprint for it. It's everywhere. Of course. That's why they'll never change. Terrible people doing terrible things. What's new? Oh, sorry. I didn't see you there. If you're enjoying the content, hit the subscribe button. If you don't, it'll make Boo very sad. I know a bunch of you who are watching are not subscribed. Join the frenzy. You won't regret it. Thank you, Boo.